And welcome back to the channel. This is Rick. I am here today to do my first video as part of the Miss Ink Stamps design team. That's my big announcement if you're on my channel. We're going to be using the Big Mug stamp set, the Coffee Philosophy stamp set, and the coordinating die, and the Hug and a Mug stencil set, along with the EIEIO frame dies for our project today. I'm going to start off by stamping my little gnome so that we can color him up. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp him down using Tuxedo Black ink. I'm going to be coloring using Ohuhu markers. So I'm using the 48 set of the Honolulu Bee markers to color him. So I'm going to do this in more of a Christmas type card for my coffee loving Christmas friends. And I'm going to go with R4 and R2 for our little gnome. We're going to do simple coloring today. So I'm going to start with my darkest color, which in this case is R4. And I will blend that out with R2. And I'm going to use that same color combination on his shirt. And the little stripe on the cup as well. For our pants, we're going to use a blue combo. I'm going to use PB6, PB8. So we're going to give him some little jeans. And for my cup, we're going to do it in a yellow-green. So I'm going to go GY5, GY3, or GY5, GY2, and GY3. Let's start with my darkest color. Add that into the top of the mug there. So we all have coffee-loving friends that these cards would be perfect for the holiday. I'll blend that out with the GY2. Actually, I'm going to come back over with that with the GY2. I'm sorry. This is a little more muted in color. So that way that will tone that green down just a tad. And then I'm going to come back and blend that out with the G5. This looks a little bit more on the Christmassy side. And then we'll blend that out with the GY3. All right, for my skin, I'm going to use BR3 for his little face. The lip and his hands here. And then I will blend that out with YR4. I am going to give him a little color in his cheek. So I'm going to use R9 for that. Just to give him a little rosy cheek. And then for his beard, I'm going to use just some of the warm gray 1. It's kind of under where I want the shadow to be. And then I will blend that out with the 0 marker. For his top of his little hat, we're going to do that with some cool grays. So I'm just going to use CG 204. CG 204. And then I will blend that out with the cool gray 2000. And then some of the clear. For his shoes, I'm going to color brown. So I'm going to come in with BR1. And BR2. Now, because I'm going to cut out some of the coffee beans. That's going to be what I'm going to use as my embellishment from the Coffee Philosophy stamp set. I'm going to use VersaFine Claire Fallen Leaf ink for that. I'm going to go ahead and stamp a few of these. So I get a nice impression that I like. And I'm going to set that to the side, let that dry. I will end up fussy cutting our little gnome out before we put our card together. Okay, I'm going to come in now and do a little ink blending with my Hug and a Mug stencil set. We're going to start off with our top stencil first. And I've just got a piece of cardstock that I can cut down. Just going to add a little tape right there. And basically, I'm going to come in with ink that I already have on some of my brushes. And just add a little bit of color to some of these. With this layer, I'm not going to go super strong. I kind of want to have just that color in there. I'm going to add some other colors as well. And this is just using the leftover ink, and which is a great way to use your stencils. Is just add that leftover ink onto your project. Creates that lighter layer that you need for most stencils. I am changing up some of the colors by just adding a second layer of color underneath. Okay, move that. And then we're going to add our detail layer. So I'm just going to line this up right to the edge there. And then I will tape that into place. And this time I'm going to come in with a second heavier hand. And I'm actually going to use my black ink for this layer. So I'm just going to use what I had on my desk. And in case that happens, we're just going to line that back up into place. It will be okay. All right, there's all my stenciling complete. Now I'm going to take my EIEIO frame dies and cut that panel out. I'm going to take the little stitched image there, and I can move this where I want it to be. That way I can not get any of the places that may have messed up. Then I will cut that out. All right, I have cut my pieces. I've used cut a piece of green cardstock with the scalloped frame from that set. And the next size down, I cut a black mat. And then I use the stitch die to cut out our stencil piece. And then I took a half circle die from my stash and cut out one of those so that I would have a place to anchor my little gnome. So I'm going to start by layering these pieces up. I'm just going to use liquid glue for that. And then I'll line these up together, making sure we have a nice border. Frame piece. Now this one, we have a choice. We can either go at the bottom and have the gnome coming up that way, or from the side. I think we're going to do it from the side. So I'll go ahead and attach this down. To my card front, which is just a standard A2 top folding card. Now, I do have to figure out my little placement here so I can get my sentiment in the right spot. I actually could use our little gnome up there and use our sentiment on our half circle. I'm going to use this sentiment. So I'm going to take and grab my Misty, pop that half circle down in the bottom, pop my sentiment down there, and I'm going to use that VersaFine Claire Fallen Leaf because it's a nice dark brown. Since we did use it on our coffee beans that we will be adding. And I will show you how I dress those up in just a minute. Okay, I'm going to add my sentiment. And I'm just going to attach that down with liquid glue. We're going to attach it down at the bottom of our half circle, or half our frame. And then I will take some foam squares and pop up my little gnome in his coffee cup. Pop him right there. All right, I'm going to add a few white gel pen highlights to our little gnome. That way to give it a little bit more life. And then what I did for my coffee beans before I cut them out, I use that VersaFine Claire ink. It's a pigment ink. So I use some frosted glass embossing powder over that to make them nice and shiny. I'm going to take my pickup tool and we're going to start adding a few of our little coffee beans around. And there are two different sizes. There's a large and a small one. So I'm going to add 2 at the top of the sentiment. And then 1. Actually, we'll add 2 down at the bottom and 3 at the top. I'm going to add my finishing touch. I'm going to add just a little glitter to his little beard. And his little hair, because it'll make it nice and festive. And tie into our glitter on our coffee beans. So I'll pull this up to the camera, give you a closer look. And there's the look at my card. If you like this video, you're probably going to like the one coming up next. Right there. Bye guys, stay crafty.